Hi there everybody, welcome to another video. On today's video I have this BMW X3. This is a 2006 model. So on today's video I'm gonna be removing the front bumper of this car. So I'm just gonna show you how I would remove it. I've probably done one of these in the past, so bear with me while I remember how to remove it, but I'm not gonna waste your time. I'm just going to check all the points and probably show you one side mainly. The other side will be the same. So let's get cracking. We need to get the bonnet open to get that some screws that are holding the bumper in place, and we might need to remove the front wheel, but maybe not. So we'll have a look. Right, once your bonnet is open, I'm going to start by removing these T30 torx screws here. There is one's a little bit. That one may need a ratchet. So we can get these four out. You can get this little cover out of the way. And we have 1, 2, and 3 of those T30 torx screws, which, as we saw, might be a little bit tighter, so the machine can't really handle. Once we start them off, then I'm pretty sure we can tackle them with the machine. Okay. Clearly that one hasn't been out, or some water is got to it. And this is vibrating a bit here, so I'm going to remove the screws before one of them decides to fall in there or there and go missing for forever. Okay, so with that loose, now this section is loose. Now we need to remove one on the side here, one on the side of the other side, and then we have to remove a few from underneath. So I'm just gonna get the car up and tackle those. So looking at the bumper from the side, this is what we want to achieve, to pull this out. And to do this section here, we need to get this mudguard out of the way a little bit. So you're gonna have to loosen it in order to get it out of inside of here. So there is there's gonna be a 8mm bolt there. So just an 8mm bolt that looks like this. And there's gonna be another one up here and another one sitting behind the wheel, just somewhere down there. You're also gonna have this clip here, which in my case it was in the wrong place, but I think what we'd have to do with that is push the center and then you get the clip out. And you can try to save the pin in the center here, but sometimes once they drop, either they don't remain in place or they go missing. So you may need new clips. And once that is done, you're gonna get access by pushing this like this. You're gonna have to get an 8mm and get it here and take out an 8mm bolt. That looks, oh no, it's not an 8mm bolt actually, it's a torx T25. So this little one here, this silver one, will be sitting there holding this in place. and then you have to pull this out. So let's have a quick look at doing this on the other side, and see if I can show you. But also I have removed some screws from the bottom down here, so that's also something that we need to do. So this half, I've done this half. We have this other half here, which we have some 8mm screws. That we're gonna have to remove. There's another one here. So there's about 4 or 5 on each side, because that's going to lose this bit here also. So we can pull the panel sort of backwards a little bit. And then this obviously releases the bumper. I think I've done obviously all of the ones there, but I didn't see, there was one missing here in the center. So that one, since it's missing, obviously you might have it. So that's going to release the bumper here. I don't think we need to remove the whole cover as such. But with that done, we can move on to removing the 8mm that's hiding there. Okay, so get your 8mm, and there's the bolt. Now we need to undo. So I've undone it a little bit. Still a little bit hard. Hopefully. So we got one there, and then we have another one just in here. Bit difficult to see, but again, I've already undone it for the purpose of making things a little bit faster. And then there is one more which I didn't undo, which is sitting there. So there's that one. And then there's the one with the pin, as I was saying. Just this one here. We need to push the center pin, hopefully not lose it. Right. Some of these pins, when you push them in, they go in halfway, and then okay, it's a little bit tough. Okay, I managed to sort of push it in a little bit. It needed some extra force, so you could turn the wheel a little bit in to give you the ability to push that pin in, and then you can get this clip out basically. And I can see that that little pin is actually, all right, that's an interesting design. On the other BMWs, this pin, it's is this camera not focusing on what it should focus? So in other BMWs, that pin comes out in the E90 and whatnot, but this one is held in by the plastic bits around it, which is good because then it doesn't go missing and you can just push it back out. Anyway, now everything is loose. Okay, now that those the pin and the bolts are out, that pin is really weird. I've been looking at it, and I don't know how you would be able to put it back in there, to be honest. Anyway, you might need a new pin. So now we can sort of try to wiggle this out of here, which you might need something like this in order to sort of get the this cover out a bit. Obviously, be careful with your bumper. You don't want to scratch it, so you could use some plastic prying tools. Or the other option is just removing this splash guard entirely, but that is up to you. It's not a difficult one to remove these entirely, but you do have to remove all these ones which have that center pin in that you need to press in, and whatever other 8mm nuts and bolts that you may have. But in this case scenario, we do need to sort of push these back a little bit, and it would probably help to remove the wheels, but again, it depends where you're working. In my case, I am working in a ramp, and it would be easier, but I don't have time today. So anyway, basically this is what we're aiming to do here. Get that out, and now you have access here to get your 8mm, to remove the 8mm that's sitting here. So I'm just gonna get this out. It's easier with my two hands. Okay, I'll just show you where that torx is, and again, all these will be a lot easier with your two hands, but I've already loosened the torx, which is sitting. If I can get my light to light a little bit, I'll show you. So that's where the torx is. Easily accessible. Just push that with your hand and get it off with your other hand. Right, I got it out. Now we have to pull this bumper out, and it's going to unplug. It might sound like it's falling apart, but that's basically how it will come out here. So everything is pretty much loose. Technically, shouldn't be anything else holding this bumper in place. But yes, when you remove the bumper, if you have parking sensors, you may need to disconnect them depending on the, well, you'll have to disconnect them if you're completely removing the bumper. Also these lights, and I mean, in fact, you could potentially get access in there. So if you get access in there, you could remove these cables already and make your life a little bit easier when removing the bumper. Right, if I can't disconnect the cable, just pull the whole light out. And do the same for the other side. And what else do we have connected here? The horn. So again, you may want to disconnect those. The sensors are just there. Again, all of those go without saying. They're just clips that you press and you take out. They are a little bit hard sometimes, but it is fairly basic, and that is what we want to what we want to be removing. Right, so there is one more Torx screw holding sitting behind this cover. This cover, you need to get it out. Is plugged in literally with those 6 clips. It is a little bit difficult to unplug it, but we need to remove these Torx as far as I can see, because this it's got this is holding in here, and then there's a little bar here that's sort of riveted to the frame of the bumper, of the front bumper. So this is the cover, and I got my tools in there and sort of unplugged it that way. Once you sort of undo one, the rest may follow suit, like so. But obviously try not to damage it or break it. And again, be careful with your bumper. Obviously my bumper is a bit rough, so it doesn't really matter, but if yours is not, you do want to be careful. Maybe use, again, plastic prying tools, or put a little something around if you're wiggling things about. And then we can go ahead and take that Torx screw out, and that is a little bit bigger than it's more like a T30, even though I'm using a T25. And that's kind of got the bumper loose now, so just want to be careful, don't want to start doing anything silly. But this actually gives you access as well to the back of this fog light, a little bit easier if you had to unplug it. So kind of need to remove this one as well. Right, and because this side was a little bit harder to get my hand behind this. In fact, I still can't get my hand, because there's this air duct here that goes into this cooler. There's a cooler there, so I may have to pull this out a little bit before I can get my hand behind this and disconnect the light. Probably doable, but if I push the this rubber thing out of the way, it's just pushing it a little bit. Don't know if I can go in from here. Again, the space is a bit tight, but once I remove that, I can get my hand, move this forwards, get my hand in there, disconnect it, and then carefully remove the bumper, because I haven't really disconnected all the sensors yet, because they are a bit of a pain in the ass. So anyway, let's get I'm just gonna take those Torx out. Right, this little thing here, when you pull this back, it's supposed to come out, but it was getting a bit stuck, so I've sort of pulled it out altogether. And it is doing the same here. It's not letting me sort of pull the bumper out. But if we wiggle this out a little bit, then maybe we can get this little... Well, that's just what I didn't want to happen, but it did. So anyway, that is out, and that's the little cover there that's flown over there. So be careful when you're removing that. As you can see, the bumper just falls out after that. It's completely out. It's just a matter of disconnecting the sensors there. You can see the wire. I disconnected one. You can see the other wire there, and I think I've seen there was another wire somewhere with a temperature sensor somewhere, so remember that as well. And there's the other wire. So I'm just gonna go and disconnect those and take this out. Okay, I've got it out. There was just those two. So a couple of tips here. These jets, if you don't want to suffer what I suffered, I think you definitely need to remove these before you can get the bumper off, because these are stuck to those jets. They are clipped on. They are clipped on there. So I didn't know that, but basically you could, while the bumper is in place, you could pull this up with the cover, obviously. While the bumper is in place, you could pull this up. You can see the little jet comes out. Hold it there and remove this cover safely. You just have to open the sides a little bit, and it will sort of unplug from those pins on the sides here. So I would say try to do that first. Just a little tip. You can, as I said, manually pull this out and get these little covers out, because obviously what happened here is that as I pulled the bumper, I was trying to make sure it sort of unwiggles from there, but it didn't, and it obviously it broke a little bit, as you can see there. It broke a little bit, but also it broke the cover at the top, like this. So that is, I can glue that, and it's got solution. It's still, you can still plug it in there, but obviously you want to avoid that kind of thing. So again, pull it up while before removing the bumper and unhook it from there. I would give you that tip. Learn from my broken clip, and don't break yours. Apart from that, you got the clips, the sensors. You can just press the little clip on the side and take it out. And the horn, you don't have to, it remains there. It's only the fog lights that you can just twist the bulb and disconnect it. And that is really pretty much it. It doesn't really take long. It just takes longer, obviously, if you're filming and trying to explain and trying to give tips, so you can do it without damaging your bumper, your car. In this case, I have to fix that bumper, but that's it. So in a way, I hope the video helps. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you all in the next video. So thank you for watching.